Hi, in this video I'm going to be demonstrating how to replace the wagon wheel seal on this port selector. The first thing I need to do is make sure the power is off. Now I'm going to push this handle down and just put it on the side there. And the reason being is when I will return this, I don't want this to be under pressure. Now in this unit, it has a hex head, which is a size 10, and at the bottom there is a nut, which is also a size 10. On other units, you might find that it is a Phillips screw or a flat, so you'll need to use a screwdriver. Now, since this is a hex head, I'm just going to use a portable screwdriver and I'm just going to hold the nut in place. Now, if you don't have spanners, you can also use pliers to hold the nut in place. If you're concerned that you won't know which way to put it back, you can just make a mark here so that you know the orientation. Now that you've removed the screws, you might find that this thing is wedged. So in this case, it's actually stuck and I can't get it off easily. So what you can do is just take a scraper and just put it on the sides and just see what I'm doing. I'm just lifting it on the one side, and then on the other side, I'm just doing that. And then on the other side, I'm just doing that just to release it a bit. And now what I'm doing is with a balanced force, I'm pulling vertically upwards like this, like that. And there it's coming out. If yours is stuck, don't use the handle to pull it out because it's got a depth and it will snap either the handle or the plastic. So pull it out vertically like that. Now there is the wagon wheel, and you might find that it's very difficult to get this out. So first try with a pair of pliers and you can try and pull it out. This side is coming out, but it is stuck around the edges. So what you can also do is take a screwdriver without damaging the sides here, and just take the screwdriver and try and wedge it out like that. There, it's coming out. There we go, got it out. Right, now that it has come out a bit, I can use my pliers and then pull it out. It is stuck and I can just feed it out. Now I need to clean this out thoroughly. Now there's water here and there's some old glue there. So if I just take my screwdriver, I can try and remove any of the old residue. And if you've got a brush with strong bristles, you can just brush it clean. Now we need to install the new seal, but this all has to be dry, and I need to put some adhesive on the back here and a little bit over there. So it's a good option if you can just get a towel and dry this completely. If you have glue that is not coming off, you can use acetone to soften the glue. What you can also do is wrap your screwdriver in a cloth and just clean it out. And this is also useful in drying out these crevices. If you're having trouble getting this dry, what you can do is take a blower and just get it into the pipe over there, which is going into the filter. And I'm just going to drain a little bit of this excess water so I can dry it. The water coming from the filter is now much lower, so I can just superficially remove some of the water here. Right, now it's much easier to dry this out. So it's actually better if you do it slowly and more deliberate. And now because there's no water nearby, I can just even go with my finger and dry this out. Now to help the drying process, I take a rubbing alcohol. This is just alcohol 90%. There's no glycol in here. And this just helps remove any additional dirt. And what I do is I just put almost a cap full and I let that circulate. Now using that alcohol, it provides two features. The first one is it removes any possible oil and any additional dirt or sticky stuff that is there. The second thing is it aids the drying process because it evaporates very quickly, and if there's even a drop of water there, it will mix with the water and it will evaporate. And you can also just let it sit in the sun for a bit. Right, while that's drying, I'm just inspecting this. I'm checking the surfaces are smooth. There should not be any rough finishes here. This is actually fine. It just needs to be cleaned. Now there is a seal over here and I will be replacing that seal. And here is the replacement. All right, so I'm just going to remove the old seal and now just clean this. Right, so I tried to clean mine, but I just want to show you that this is actually cracked. So if you look over there, there's a hairline crack there. There's a hairline crack there as well. And there's a few along the pathway. So there, the crack is going through there. There's a few cracks there as well. And unfortunately, these cracks allow air in, and then you get quite a lot of bubbles coming through. So for the remainder of the video, I'm going to be now using this one as a replacement. There's a brand new unit. If you are reusing your old one and you are just changing the seal, so you just need to seat the seal, press it all the way in like that. The seal just sits like this, there's no glue added, and if you want to, you can also put some grease inside there. You can use just general purpose grease, and you can just insert some inside there, and then this will move nicely. Right, so I left this in the sun for a bit. It is completely dry. You can even take a cotton bud and just check, and it is properly dry. You can even go once more with some rubbing alcohol and just clean inside there, making sure that there is a very clean surface there. Right, now for the seal, I will need to use an adhesive. You can use contact adhesive, but these will need to dry overnight. If you're in a hurry, you can also use a gasket maker, which does not need as much drying time. Now what I do is I take some rubbing alcohol and I just put some on a towel, and then I clean my fingers, and then I clean the seal. I wipe the seal with the rubbing alcohol. That's just because our fingers tend to have an oily residue, and I just want to make sure that the seal is completely dry. I take the adhesive and I just put some in the grooves here. I don't need a lot, and I don't need to have it continuous because it will spread. Right, so it's not a lot. And I just take my screwdriver and I just move it around. And I take that same adhesive and I just put it on this side of the seal. This is the flat side of the wagon wheel seal. And now just be aware which way you put it, because it can only go one way. Now note, I'm pushing this down and only a little bit of the adhesive is coming out. And that's because I didn't put too much adhesive. It's just enough to cover the surface. So I didn't fill up the grooves with adhesive. All I did is I put enough to cover the surface. Now there is a little bit extra there, so I'm just going to clean that up and that. So I'm just going to use a cotton bud and just remove the excess glue. Right, so now it's time to return the cover. Because this is a new cover, I need to open this in my hand and make sure that when I put it on, this is in the open position. Right, make sure your new unit has the seal in place. Right, I just wipe the surface here with the rubbing alcohol, make sure that it is completely dry, and also the seal. Make sure the seal has no oily residue or any dust on it. Right, so I drew a line there, and this is the new one, but I know that it's going to go like this. Another way of checking, the shape of this side here corresponds with that one. All the rest have a rounded shape, while this has more of a teardrop shape. And now I can seat this. Right, using a balance force, press it down. Now return the screws. Right, now the tightening sequence is you can start at any side and then you go opposite, 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 opposite. So it's crisscross. There, 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 there. Right, and then you can just do your final tightening. Now notice that that is not in one of those crevices. So at the moment this platform is currently raised, so it's not pressing on that wagon wheel seal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it pressed in all the way, turn it and go to the closed position over here. Then I'm going to drop this down and it's going to depress, and now it is in the closed position, and the reason being is in the closed position it mates with as many of these lines as possible. So it will sit like that overnight, and then tomorrow this will be ready to be used. I will then put it on the circulate and leave it. All right, thanks for watching and cheers.